Hi, Brittany. How you doing?
Better after.
You look better.
Thank you.
Earlier when we talked, we had decided we were going to put some programs in place, some safety nets for you. So we've, let me just go over this and double check, what we have in place for you. You did place a restraining order, is that correct? So you have a restraining order against your ex-husband at this time. Okay, and you're now exchanging the kids through SCAN. How's that going?
Well, something that, with talking to my sponsor ongoingly, and, I touched base with her before we met back up, and, what basically will happen is I'll drop the kids off, and there's two entrances, in case time does overlap or something. I'll drop them off, and then there's like a 10-minute lapse where they're there and they play, and then their dad comes and picks them up, and we never even have to see them or see each other at all.
So have you done that yet with the SCAN, or is that going to be starting like next week at your visit?
That's going to be starting like next week at our visit.
Okay. So how do you feel about that?
I feel pretty good about that. I think that will solve a lot of issues and, completely eliminate any kind of confrontation between the two of us, because obviously we can't argue if we don't see each other.
Well, that's good. And you are going to start parenting classes at SCAN, or have you started them yet?
That's something else my sponsor and I had talked about, and I had started, and I think we're going to go ahead and continue with those parenting classes. Working on just things like how to parent with, an ex, and how to parent when going through, changes in my life with, being clean from drugs and things of that nature. So I think that's probably going to help quite a bit too.
Okay, well that's good. So you think that'll be a big benefit to you?
I do. I think that'll be a great thing for, not just for myself, but for my kids as well.
Okay, and they, from what you said, they put a court order that he has to do home-based counseling, parenting classes?
Yeah, the parenting classes, because of the drug involvement, and obviously I was the one that was caught in the midst of it. So in order to make sure that the drug use isn't going on with him as well, what they're going to do is they'll do the home base, so that way they're in his home, they see him interact with the kids, and that'll just, ease my mind as well that there's no abuse going on where the kids are concerned also. Even though it's never been reported, it's something that I would worry about. So with the home-based parenting classes, it'll make that, easier to have somebody else's view on what's going on there.
Kind of like a safety net for the kids to make that sure that they are in a safe environment.
Right, and it's somebody trained to, talk to the kids and make them feel comfortable, so that way if there is anything going on, they can feel comfortable to tell that person, where they might not feel comfortable telling myself, or,
Okay, that sounds like that's going to work out pretty good. How is he with doing that? Do you know?
I don't know. I haven't discussed it with him, but, court orders are there for a reason. So whether he likes it or not, he's going to have to. And, I'm just hoping that he abides by that.
Well, hopefully he will. And you, went to a meeting at Victims Assistance for domestic violence?
They do offer, basically it's kind of like the same thing as recovering from actual drugs, because that can be just as much of a very hard situation to get out of for whatever reason. We hear lots of stories from lots of women, and in my case it was the drugs and the fear of leaving and all of that stuff. So they address a lot of those issues with us, and we're able to be among other people, so we don't feel ashamed of, having stuck around with that kind of thing for so long. So it's working pretty well also.
So you think that's going to help?
Mm-hmm.
Okay, and you said you've been talking with your sponsor a lot, so you're keeping that line of communication open there. How are your feelings of needing to use? Are they subsiding some with some of this calming down?
Yeah, especially with not, being in the environment in which I was in before, where I was using or around the same people I was using with. For example, my ex-husband. It just makes it a lot, easier to stay on the right path and keep going, towards the positive instead of relapsing and going back to that, because I'm not even putting myself in a position to, have those urges because I'm not in that same environment anymore.
Do you feel like there's anything you need that you're not getting right now?
Not really, especially once I decided that, the sponsors are there for a reason, and I've been heavily relying on that and talking openly and being just honest, and with counseling and constant support from all of the different groups that I've made sure to involve myself in. I think that this is going to put me on the path I need to be on to continue recovering and being a better parent for my children.
And how are your children doing with have you noticed any difference with them getting picked up at the scan office instead of you going to his house?
I think it relieves the anxiety for them as well. I think, because obviously you see the fighting and it makes them scared, so I'm sure knowing that, mom and dad are about to see each other probably gives them high levels of anxiety. So they're just really calm and relaxed, and all the people there are very nice, and, it just seems like they're a little more comfortable that way.
Well, I'm really glad to see that the programs we put in place for you are working, and you don't see anything else that you think you may need that you're not getting right now?
No, I really think that these are some very good steps, and thankfully I do have my sponsor to, if I were to need something more, I think that it'd definitely be taken care of.
Okay, well, I want you to make sure, if you start feeling like you're getting overwhelmed again, you just, the dad is just, the ex-husband's just really throwing you a fit, whatever. Make sure you use the resources that are in place for you, because those are your safety nets. They're there for a reason, and those programs will help you. So just make sure, and if they stop working for you and you think you need something else, then please come to me and let me know, so then we can put something different in place for you that will keep you on track and keep you headed where you need to go. I'm really happy that everything is going good for you now. So like I said, please, if you need to talk to me or anything, get a hold of me right away. You know where I'm at. Make sure you utilize that sponsor, because they're a lifeline in a way, They've been there. They've walked your shoes. Make sure you go to your meetings and, just really use the resources that are available to you. Okay, and we'll set up another appointment for our next meeting. And just, like I said, keep in touch with me so we know what's going on.
Thank you.